All right, programmers, so far we have completed if else conditional control statement. Now we can move to the switch conditional control statement. After completing this conditional control statement part, we will move to the loop control statement and finally to the jump control statement in order to finish this control statement part. Okay, so let's start with the switch control statement. First of all, switch is basically going to help us in order to get rid of too many if else condition. Okay, so basically switch is going to do exactly the same thing that we have done with if else, but sometimes it will help us to do more better way, more simpler way. Okay, whenever we are covering switch case, there will be mostly 4 keywords that we are going to use. Let me create a file and then we will be explaining there. So let's create a file called switch statement, and then I'm going to add .c in the end. Let me just create the basic structure as usual: hash include studio.h, and then main, integer main, and then we have the return 0 in the end. That's all. So we have the basic structure now we can start understanding the switch control statement. Like, let me make this one a little bit more bigger so that you can see well. Okay, so as I said, there will be 4 important keywords that we'll be dealing with when we are explaining or understanding or doing any programming with switch conditional control statement. So the first keyword will be using switch, then we have case keyword, then we are going to deal with break keyword, and finally the last one is going to be default keyword. So as I said, switch is going to be a replacement for if else conditional control statement. Sometimes you will find switch is a more better option than using if else when you have too many conditions. So I can give you a quick example here. Let's say we want to create a program called digit spelling with the help of if statement first. Okay, so at the beginning we will do this program with if statement, then we are going to convert it with switch so that we can see the benefits of switch and the structure of switch as well. So this is spelling with if statement. This program basically means, let's say if somebody gives us 0, we need to print the digit as like this, 0. If somebody give us the input 1, then we need to print it by spelling like this, 1. Okay, so let's start. This is not a very complex program, so we can do it. First of all, we need to take an input from the user. So we are going to use this variable called digit. This is something we're going to take from the user. Okay, and then let's ask the user to give us the input. So here we are going to ask enter a digit between 0 to 9. Okay, so now we are more clear and asking the user what to do. So user will give us the input. We are going to take it inside the variable that we have declared, which is digit in this case. Okay, now that we have the input, we can make the conditions so that if it matches with 0, then we are going to print 0. If it does match with 1, then we are going to print any 1. Okay, so we just need to spell it. Let's do that. Here we are going to make our first condition if the digit equal, if it is equal 0, then we need to print 0. That's all. Let's do that. Here we're going to print, and of course we are going to use a new line just to make it more beautiful, and there you go. Okay, so our first one is ready. Now we can copy and paste a few times. Let's do that. Here I'm going to use else if for sure. For the next one, if it matches with 1, then I'm going to print 1, and you know what to do. We have to do it until 9. All right, let's do that. Here I'm going to change a bit. This one is going to be 2, this one is going to be 3, and then we'll have 4. For this one we're going to use 5, this one is going to be 6, and then for this one is going to be 7. Then let me just copy and paste 2 more times. Here this time it's going to be 8, and finally 9. But it's not only about just changing the value here. Of course we need to change the spelling as well. So 9 and then 8, and then let's be real quick here. I'm going to change into 7, and then this one is going to be 6, and of course this one needs to be 5, and let's continue doing what we are planning to do here. 4, then this one is going to be 3, and finally this one is going to be 2. Okay, so we're done with the digit spelling program using if else conditional control statement. Now if it doesn't match in any case with any of the condition that we have above, then maybe I can print this is not a digit. Okay, not a digit. All right, even we can do that like a various way. Maybe at the beginning, I can check if it is not between 0 to 9, then we are going to say it's not a digit. All right, this is something we can do at the top. So let's go at the top here. Here we could say if something like this, if the digit is not greater than 0 and digit is not less than equal 9. So if it is not inside the range, then we're going to say it's not a digit. We can say something like that, but let's keep it simple for now. I think I want to keep it simple at this stage. So let me run this program so that I can explain you really things well with the help of switch conditional control statement. So now that you can see, we have quite many conditions here, right? Quite a lot. Okay, let's compile and run it. Let's see what is the output we're going to get this time. So here we should see enter a digit between 0 to 9, and we have that here. So now if I give the input here, let's say 1, it's going to print 1. Fair enough. Let me run it again. This time if I give 2, then it shows 2. And this one is also working. Let's say this time I'm giving 8, it's also working. I will run one more time. This time I'm going to give 11. So this 11 value should not match with any of our condition, and in this case else part will work and it will show not a digit, and exactly it shows like that. All right, here I'm going to add a new line as well. Now that we're done with this program by the help of if-else conditional control statement, now we want to convert this with switch conditional control statement. So for now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to comment everything that I have here. Okay, and maybe I will use multiple line command here. So here I'm going to add my multiple line command. I will start from here and then I'll go all the way down below here and just end the command. All right, so that I can copy paste when I need it, and also I can explain you what basically I'm doing here. So first of all, if you want to complete this program with switch case break default this keyword or switch condition control statement, the structure for switch is something like this. So this is the syntax for switch, just like if else, the way we start. So switch is basically, this is called switch block, and it normally takes an expression here, and that expression can be integer, character, or enum. Remember whatever I'm saying. So you can pass a value to the switch conditional control statement, or you can pass an expression, but it has to return integer. It has to return either integer, character, or enum, nothing other than that. Okay, so this time we have digit, which is basically an integer, and this is completely allowed. Now the next thing, after passing the value to the switch conditional control statement, you need to match with cases. So the way we have used if block in our if else conditional control statement, switch basically going to use the case for the same reason. So case is going to be a replacement for if here. So we need to say case, if it match with 0, then we want to do something. Again, the colon is mandatory here. Now what do we want to do? Let's print it and paste it. And again, we can continue like this. If it match with 1, then we want to do something. In this case, maybe we want to do this one. Then if it does match with, let's say here, let me just cut this one. If it does match with 2, then we want to do something. So let's say we want to print 2 here. If it does match with the next case, which is going to be 3, in this case, maybe we want to do something. And what is that thing we want to do? We want to print 3 here. If it does match with case 4, then we want to do something. So let's say in this case, we want to print 4. And like this, we can continue for sure, but I will just keep it like this for now. So here we have the switch conditional control statement. Again, I'm repeating the things so that you can understand really well. Of course, we are going to do a few programs after that anyway. So we are passing an expression or value, which can be only integer, character, or enum. And here we are going to match with cases, which is basically a replacement of if block. And then we are going to do something. So this is the body of case. Of course, it can have multiple lines, so you can have something more like that. It's completely fine. It can have multiple statements here. Now, after doing everything, let's say here, if I maybe complete it so that it will make more sense, there is one more information I want to provide you here. You cannot, duplicate a case. So we have now duplicate case here. there are similar cases here. You can see that case 0, we cannot have like that. So the case has to be unique at any cost. Now, let's say if I write here 1 plus 1, again, this is also a duplicate case. Why? Sorry, let me just put it like this. So case 2, and now if I put it, this is a duplicate case because this one returning the value 2 for the case, and this one also returning value for 2 for the case. So this is called duplicate case, and we cannot do it like this. Okay. Now let me copy and paste a few more times. Let's say case 6. Then we want to do something. Let's say this time is going to be 6, and then let's continue. Case 7, and here I'm going to say 7. Let's continue. Just a few more. I will just copy paste these two to save my time here, and this time it's going to be 8. So here we're going to say 8, and then finally we're going to use 9 here. Now, just like if else, if I already mentioned that case is basically replacement of if, then if nothing works, of course, you know that else will work, right? So similar way, in switch conditional control statement, we have something called default. If you recall, I said there will be 4 keywords basically we'll be dealing with. We already have seen how to use switch. We already have seen how to use case. Now we are going to use default this time. So default is going to be your last one or even the first one. You can place it anywhere, but this one will work only when no other case match. Then the default will work. So here I'm going to say not a digit. All right, that should be all. Now I'm going to run this program even though I have not used break because I want to show you why do you need break. So again, there are a few important facts here. I'm talking about the switch conditional control statement. You're going to pass value to the switch statement, and the value that you will pass, it needs to be integer, character, either character or enum. These are the 3 things you can pass. Case cannot be duplicated, so case has to be unique. Then we can use default anywhere inside the switch block, even in the beginning, middle, doesn't matter. And this one will only work when no other cases work. So it just worked like, else, but of course else needs to be in the end of if control statement. Now let's see what we are going to get if we run this program. So here I'm going to run and compile it. Let's see what does it do. So it's asking us to give a value between 0 to 9. Okay. Now let's say if I give the value 9 here, what will happen? So if I give the value 9, of course we are passing digit here 9. It doesn't match with this one. It doesn't match with any one of them. So it will match with this one. So 9 will match with this case 9, and then it's going to print 9. Let's see. Yes, it does print 9, but also it's printing not a digit. So after printing this one, it doesn't stop or it doesn't break, it just continue. Again, I want to show you what's the problem here so that you will understand the problem, and then we are going to solve it. Let's say this time I want to give 0 here. So if I give 0, of course, the case 0 will be matched and it will print 0. So I'm going to run it here, but you can see it is printing 0 for sure, but then it's printing 1, 2, 3. All the cases basically are working, even not a digit as well. Now, what's the problem here? After the case match, we are not breaking the case. So we are not breaking the switch statement. In this case, we can introduce our break keyword here. And this is something we should use in every cases, with every cases, so that when the case is matched, it should break immediately. We should not go further. There is no need to do that. So here, I'm going to add the break. And this time we have used our switch case break default, all the keywords. Let me run it again and let me show you what basically this one is going to do this time for us. So here, I'm going to give the digit 2 and you can see it's working perfectly. I'll run it again. This time I will give, let's say 0. You can see it's working perfectly. I'll run it one more time. This time I will give 13, and surely this 13 digit doesn't match with any of our cases. And this time default will work for sure. Here I'm going to run and you can see not a digit is working perfectly here.